Hello YouTube, Traceman M here, and today we're going to look at the proper seating for this Lee 452 228 1R bullet. It is a lead round nose bullet. It is been pan lubed, but I was having some issues with these once I loaded them up, and we'll go through the proper seating procedure for these. Well, we're going to go ahead and go through the process of seating these factory bullets as opposed to these cast lead Lee round nose bullets. Now these cast Lee bullets have a little bit different shape here in the nose. They both look very similar, but there are some differences, and I was having some failure to chamber problems with this particular bullet, and I know why now. I did some research, and you just got to seat these deep enough, but we'll go through that process. Okay, as we're referring to our Lyman reloading manual here, you can see that the overall length of this bullet when loaded should be a 1.275, and that is the maximum length of the cartridge, and that is what we have our dial caliper here set at. However, when seating these bullets at the 1.275, they tend to stick out a little bit too far. This isn't as rounded as the factory bullets, and they hit the rifling before the bullet can completely seat. We'll go ahead and load these up, and I'll show you how to check the chambering of them and make sure that they are loaded down. Now, because these have to be seated a little bit deeper, we want to make sure that we start off at the lowest loads in our manual for the powder we're using. Okay, I've got the full metal jacket bullets here, and I'm going to go ahead and load some of these up, and these are going to be loaded over 6 grains of unique. They're a 230 grain full metal jacket. We'll get these set up, get them loaded, and we will put the mic on them to see how long they are, and we'll put them in the chamber here and see if they fit. Okay, so we got all our factory bullets loaded, and we'll put a mic to this, and they're within range, right where they need to be. The other test we always like to do too is just take the chamber of your gun. You don't need to buy a chamber, and this is going to tell you more than one of those little chamber guides, but do the plunk test. It should just kind of plunk in there, and give it a little spin. Make sure that the bullet is not engaging the rifling. You don't want it to be engaging the rifling. You want it to be just off the rifling a little bit, but this one should feed and chamber just fine. Okay, we're going to go ahead and weigh these bullets. The cast says that they should be 228 grains. They're actually weighing out at 229.2 grains. That's really close to 230. Our reloading manual says on the unique that 5.9 to 6.6 grains is what we should be using. So we're going to continue with the 6 grains. It's still on the lower end of the scale as to what we're coming up with numbers here. And because I know I need to seat these just a little bit deeper, I want to keep it on that low end, because if it's going to have to build up a little bit more pressure to push that bullet out, and we don't want to overpressure the round. So let's go ahead and get these loaded into the cases and then measure them up. Okay, we're going to take our first load here. We're going to go ahead and load it up the same as we did these and see if it's going to chamber. Okay, we got our bullet loaded up here. Let's see what happens here. We're sticking out a little bit. We're not seated far enough, and we are engaging the rifling. So I know that I need to seat this a little bit deeper. However, according to the book and our max load data, we're where we need to be here. So that data is the maximum length. You can be a little shorter, but when you have to start pushing that bullet in a little further, you need to make sure you start at the lighter end of your load so you don't overpressure something and blow your gun up. So let's go ahead and adjust this. Push it in a little bit further. Do the plunk test. We're still a little long here. It's getting closer. Plunked in there, and we're not engaged on the rifling, so that should be a good round. Alright, we'll go ahead and mic these out. I mean, as you can see, we've got a lot of room there, and these are going to mic out at basically 1.206. Got to push that in a little bit deeper than the other ones, but these are chambering in our chamber fine. Beautiful lead bullets. We've got everything loaded. And this is, did this video to show you that yes, sometimes you have other issues. You had to do a little research and do a little figuring out of why I was having problems, because I had seated the first batch of these bullets to the regular seating depth that the manual told me, and I was having failure to chamber issues, and they just were not going in. They were just too long. The round surface of that bullet wasn't slender enough down there at the mouth of the case to allow for feeding properly. So I had to figure out that these had to be seated a little bit deeper, and when you do that, you also have to just make sure that you're being real careful with your charges. Start at the low end, shoot a few, see how that works, make sure you're not getting over pressures, and if you wanted to kind of step up the load from there, you can. But happy shooting, and this is Drazen M signing out.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.